Hello and welcome back to the show. It's time for cash. It's going to be starting shortly. I was just looking at pins with Halvor in the game. It's really cool that E-League are doing a pin for every ticket.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, I think was that announced yesterday? Because I saw the thread about it yesterday. I think before.
Today. I mean, I saw
it might have been
earlier
today. Actually,
I saw it on Reddit today, but I don't know when it was announced. At Cologne, I bought a ticket. So I could buy a pin.
Yeah. I mean, judging from your collection, I would have almost assumed.
Why don't they give, like, they give casters pins, right?
Yeah.
And, like, the players. But why can't we redeem them in the game?
I agree. That was the first thought when I got my pin. I was like, I want to have this in game.
I still remember when I first got to do a major.
It's pretty fun gig.
It was pretty cool, yeah. It was cool.
Not the worst.
I would like to go back to Romania, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I was just there. It's pretty awesome.
I really want us to go, man, because there's this cheese. They have this cheese in Romania, right? Which they put tree bark around it, and it's supposed to be like super awesome cheese. I want to go there. There's a place that sells it. There's like some Romanians who sell it in London on Facebook, but I want to go and get it like in Romania.
Have you tried Norwegian brown goat cheese?
No.
Okay, it's like with many Scandinavian dishes, it's an acquired taste. But like when I listen to people who eat cheese or know a lot about cheese, and you're mentioning like, hey, it's got tree bark and a bit of concrete in it and all that stuff. It's like I don't understand like how you cannot like with caviar, for instance, like Swedish caviar, like you had during the Swedish week, right?
Oh right, yeah.
Like. If you eat tree bark, surely caviar.
You don't eat the tree bark. It's just around the cheese. Like you take it off.
But why do you have it on there?
I don't know. I guess it's something to do with the. I mean, maybe it's like a fashion thing. I don't know if it serves a purpose or if it's just there.
Yeah, because if it leaves a taste, then you're kind of tasting tree bark.
Yeah, I suppose so. I've probably put tree bark in my mouth at some point in the past.
I actually had a lieutenant in the army who did that. He was like just out in the woods eating bark like a crazy person. But in any case, we're live with the second map of this, home and away game between NRG and Immortals. And this is going to be cash. This is actually Immortals' pick. It's been a while actually since I've seen them play cash. Should be a fun experience. Quite a lot of utility really on this Immortals side. And I'm assuming still is going to be a bit of a decoy here with the smoke and 2 flashes. And that's going to allow just enough space. It's going to draw the attention of tabseN, and well, away the rest of the Immortals team go. A very cool execution from the Immortals side. Still have Peter to deal with, but him being on low HP gets taken out rather quickly, and already a smoke down here.
felps is surely waiting for the reload sound to push. There's the reload sound. He pushes, but he can't get a kill. Come on, felps! Come on, felps! Finally happens. 5 versus 2. LEGIJA and FugLy remain, and they have a lot of work to do. boltz spotted, goes down for absolutely free, for gratis, for not much at all. But how is it if... Oh, man.
To the back of the head.
In the back of the head. FugLy doing what he can. Just trying to get some extra money now.
If only damage gave you money, right?
Indeed.
But that was actually a really cool execute from Immortals. It's just a cool idea. So Steel buying up with 2 splashes, 1 smoke, sets up pretty much for what you'd imagine would be a standard A execute coming in from Immortals, and then you just have 4 people bouncing up from the boost there, and it just works out so perfectly when you see tabseN. The second that smoke comes out to block off his vision, he's like, "Oh, I need to help my guys at A." Just misses the entire Immortals team running through vents, or almost the entire Immortals team. That was just very well done.
Nice.
Scout and a couple of pistols bought up. Not going to do a lot of damage there. felps once again finding 2 frags.
Beautiful, felps. Beautiful. Oh, but there's potential here. Always with a CZ, there is potential. felps and Lucas quite tagged. Got B trying to run distraction. There's FugLy with a 5-7 from a place Eco's made notorious. Steal those cleaning up. And he's got the bomb. felps finishing things off with the 3rd kill there. An expensive round for Immortals, somewhat of a mirror in that respect of the previous match.
Yeah, a bit more expensive than you'd like it to be. But it's like you said, with the weaponry that NRG actually have invested into it, it's not unreasonable for us to expect them to pick up a couple of frags at least here and there.
This is a nothing round.
Yeah, and this is the big round for Immortals in the sense of, oh, well then. They've had a couple of those nades.
That's a bad miss.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly close.
It's quite interesting, some of the things that Peter has done on a CT side of this map with its AWP. For example, sometimes you'll see a T-AWPer jumping into main, into the peak to look towards quad. But like something Makelele would do from time to time, for example. But if Peter has enough time, he will jump up on E-box and basically stand on top of the barrels on the same angles. If you jump into the peak, he's going to be above where you're expecting him to be, and you're probably going to get wrecked. Fun stuff like that is why I like to watch Peter on the CT side of this map.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't seen that much of NRG, but are they like a fairly mobile with where Peter plays with the op, or is he very stationary towards one of the sites?
I wouldn't say he's Skadoodle tier stationary, if you mean the CT side.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the map, but I don't really recall enough to give you a definitive answer, but...
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of weird to talk about, really, as, well, a bit of a bungled mid-take from Immortals happened. 2-for-1 trade. Obviously not going to be beneficial for the Brazilians, but, you know, we haven't really seen that much of cash as of late.
Yeah, we haven't.
And tabseN actually pushing in aggressively as well. Yeah,
it's mostly train in North America at the moment. Peter holding an angle towards the car, but he's been smoked off. May deploy a grenade to try and slow the advance of these players. Don't think he's got a Molotov. Stereo frags coming in. Love me some stereo frags. 4-0 for Immortals. That's a pretty poor start for NRG, but you know, when we did see a lot more cash, it was getting harder and harder for the CT sides to have a good score.
Yeah, it's one of the maps that eventually ended up being more and more T favored, to the point where 9-6 on the T side was you know, an average half type of deal. But we're seeing it less and less, which is somewhat surprising because it's I think, overall one of the more liked maps. So obviously, you have some teams who just detest it to no end. Navi and Dignitas come to mind. But for the better part, it's a good map. So it's weird to see it going from being one of the more staple maps of CS to almost not being played. Yeah, it's one of my favorite maps, along with Overpass. Quite like playing some cash. It is a fun map. I think it's a cool map from a play point of view because, you know, if you study the map, then so satisfying when you can put what you've learned into practice. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So refreshing in that respect. Where is the bomb headed? Could it actually be going towards the B-bomb site? Never mind. No one dead for Immortals. Good round from them. Not much better anti-eco. 5-0, Peter back on the bye. And I do think like you might see him vary his position on the CT side based on his spawn. His spawn is terrible on this occasion. Yeah. No one, in fact, no one has a forward spawn on NRG. Might just go to mid then. Indeed, that's where he appears to be headed. With 3 people, so I'm curious to see where they're going. Oh no, that's a failed Molotov. That Molotov's nice if you can get it inside, because then you can throw a smoke in afterwards. Yeah. And also it stops the CTs from crossing to the other side of mid. Of course they can, in T-Waves that is, of course they can get boosted on red, which you have to be careful about, but that's one less position that they can exploit. Wall of smokes coming into the middle area from the T side. Lots of smokes, lots of variant to be had potentially. Lucas makes his way out, spot tabseN, but he'll get traded immediately. LEGIJA, sounds are enough for him. 2 more kills coming in for the TTs. There's a bomb as well, so Immortals going for a fast play. Maybe trying to take NRG off guard, but they'll get taken off the server. So again, similar to the first buy round, NRG set up with 3 people towards that mid area. And well, now they don't even get the better trade like they did in the first one. They go 1-for-1 initially, and then I think it's Steel who gets taken out towards the B bomb site. But you know, unlike last time around, NRG, they don't push into mid. They don't get caught out. They actually follow it up with a solid defense from FugLy as well towards A main. Just gonna score them in the first round. Ooh, Peter's done monstrous damage. Killed the first player, legged the second player, who then soon disappeared. Hen1, some harassment, but this is a sticky situation for Immortals. One player started with 13k for Immortals at the beginning of this round. Yeah. Having a quick glance at their money, it sucks for the most part. Steel on 9k, the rest have next to no money. So they could really do with winning this round. Peter's still alive. Still in the same corner. Yeah. There is a Molotov onto the T side, and it seems their focus
is going to be trying to kill Peter.
Oh, surely felps must have heard Peter stepping there.
I like how he doesn't want to go too far because he knows the box, the high ground of the box could be a problem. Another kill for Peter. The smoke's still down so he can make his escape.
Yeah, be happy with what you got now, Peter. Go home. Okay.
Why? You got 12 HP, man. You got 12 HP.
He's feeling it, man. He's feeling it.
He's playing the rush, as a poker player would say. Doyle Brunson.
Well,
God knows how old he is now.
It does give an opportunity.
Yeah, it's the 3 versus 2 now.
And look at the aggression as well. If LEGIJA does smartly here and just kind of holds off, doesn't really push forward.
Ooh!
Dangerously close.
But look at this. This is, I mean, he's carrying the bomb, is boltz. He's looking for FugLy.
Oh.
They could have lost that round. They could have lost that round.
Absolutely.
Peter, I mean, that's folly. It's folly. It's just unnecessary for you to go for a push with 12 HP when you can reposition on the site.
Especially when you're in a situation where you've just won your first round. So if you lose, you're going to get reset, and you're a player who wants to be on the op as much as possible. So, you know, in every possible scenario, you're just making it really, really tough for yourself to have an efficient game. So, yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. They do win the round, though, so there's some salvation to it. But we've gone up to a double op setup here. So similar to what we saw in Mirage, although this time it's going to be FugLy to wield the second one.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary, man. Just don't need to take these risks. Because if you look at the money on a CT side, like if we could bring up the money quickly, if that's possible, please.
It's not great.
The money sucks. Lost more people than they needed to. I mean, maybe they would have lost them anyway, but that's a maybe. Anyway.
Yeah. You always take that maybe over, you know, definitely screwing up your economy.
We'll see if NRG's success continues.
Oh, Peter. That boost. Oh, Peter's running away as well.
FugLy
don't actually find him as well.
Yeah, he's still alive, still doing work. This could be in the story last round. 3 versus 3. Goes for the peak once again, but again, going into the angle of steel, this time it won't work out for him. So NRG at a disadvantage. boltz spotted. Moonwalking headshot. Leaving LEGIJA alone, coming up the short position. Hasn't been spotted just yet. Let's see what he chooses to do. Well, he has to go and save. He's got $400.
Oh. Bet they would have liked to have more money from last round. I'm just going to find steel, but I don't know. It feels very hopeful for him to go for this. That Molotov is not going to clear out any angles either, and he takes the re-peek as well. In that situation, I think you have to bite the bullet if you're LEGIJA and just save. It doesn't really seem like it's a viable option to actually go for that retake. But yeah, they're completely, just screwed. It's the only way to put it. It's a bit of a shame for NRG, and that's going to give Immortals, you know, ample time to build up theirs. You can see already going into this with a pretty healthy buy, and they're not going up against a lot either. It's one flash on Peter, and he's going to flash in for the guys close to main here, and they're going to hope to find someone, but instead it's going to be Henny to find LEGIJA in mid.
Should be a very simple anti-eco round. Although no one is watching main, and the bomb's in T warehouse, which slightly worries me. Although NRG haven't committed to their push there. Steal towards Squeaky, left to 15 HP, trying to run away. He doesn't want to lose an AK in this situation, but he will. And now that bomb needs to be retrieved from Immortals. They've got nobody towards A or B. And now Hen1 is moving up towards A on his own.
It's a good shot from Henny.
He will deliver. But there's one more to find. So it would be wise for him to bunch up. But boltz is moving into B on his own now. So I guess they know Peter's on the A bomb site.
See, this is where you'd like to see Immortals play smarter. All right. Still managed to salvage it, but Henny gets dinked as well. And it's just so unnecessary. And the same thing goes for NRG as well, obviously. That if you just play that more together, then you can at least secure yourself a situation where, okay, maybe Henny dies, even if you go as a duo, but you're able to pick up his op, or you just get the the easy kill because you're two and he has to focus, choose a target, or he's just not going to be able to do enough damage because you're two people shooting at him. There's so many just better options for you to go with. And there's no reason to get sloppy, even though you're up 6-2 at that point, and you know you're going to get your 7th round. You're not impervious to damage, and we saw that happen to Immortals after a strong start in Mirage as well, because NRG came back as soon as they got their D side going.
FugLy boosted up. He's facing the wall, so he doesn't get flashbang. His teammate needs to put in work, but he can't save tabseN. There FugLy goes, that's the bomb down. Jumping into the angle, and Hen1's going to get sprayed as well. No more bullets. Not enough to take Steel down. So there's a man advantage for Immortals. That bomb needs to go down fast. felps cutting off the rotation from godb, leaving Peter alone. He's going to try and force the issue, or no, just going to pop the flash, but he'll get taken down in midair by boltz, who continued his charge. 8-2.
And once again, felps is just constantly getting out mid, finding a frag every single time he's moving out. And you can see him on the radar right there. He picks up LEGIJA on short. He's just... Right now, Immortals, what they're doing a really good job of is that whenever they go towards A, and this is partly NRG overreacting as well with over-rotations, the fact that the guys playing in mid are way too focused on actually helping out over towards A, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but at this point they should realize the fact that Immortals almost always puts 1 or 2 players towards mid. So they need to be aware of that. Well, damage has been done to 2 players on Immortals, but no kills as of right now, and there's not too much to speak of in terms of weaponry on the side of NRG either. Well, Peter finds 1, but it's going to be all she wrote for that round. So Henny goes down. They should be able to pick up his op, right? No, they're not even going to bother. No bother.
I like crouching and headshot with P250, or just even a USP.
I think you like just the P250 in general, James.
I do, but it's cool because it's a weird off angle and people don't often check it when they're clearing out the site. They'll just go to the site so no one's on the site.
That's very true.
And then go for a plant. So a fair amount of the time you can get a free kill at least. One, maybe even a knife kill. I like my knife kills.
Don't like Snax's attempts.
Yeah.
And again, mid take attempt from, and this is from, well, eerie similar to what was on the first round. B execution coming in from Immortals here. Already lost 2 members though, and you can see the entire rotation from NRG here. They've locked this down. There's no way they should be able to lose this.
Oh, yes, they have a band and net around these players. And that's going to be a second AWP collected by godb. So that's cool stuff. LEGIJA's got a forward spawn now. There we go. Yep. LEGIJA could go for the aggressive play towards B, or you could go into squeaky, or even main. Main, I'd say, is the one of the less likely of the 3, but it seems it might be the B play after all. Something that Fox was very good at doing.
Yep. He's going to be running into boltz here. Yep, he ran into boltz, all right.
Yeah, he's no Fox, that's for sure. 3 smokes down in the middle area. felps has been boosted onto, well, the boost position. 14 for 6 in a moment is felps.
tabseN just roaming around in the middle of mid. Not really seeing all that much. And Peter, this is what we want to see. Aggressive push through squeaky on as tabseN goes down. Does get felps though, but not able to hold off the entire mid push. But right now, I'm curious to see what the idea from Immortals is, because you can see bomb is down towards that A bomb site, and Lucas is fairly aggressive in terms of just trying to figure out what godb is doing.
I love the smoke at the front of the site. Something that Steel was really good at doing on Inferno B. Putting a smoke on the front and putting the onus on the T's to push through it. godb smoke though, maybe too close around the box because he moved away from it.
Yeah.
So FugLy versus 3.
FugLy had a situation there as well. Well, unfortunately for him, Lucas turned back and actually watched towards vents, but he had an opportunity where he could have caught out Henny with the bomb, which obviously would have been pretty big for them given Henny's HP at that time. So it could have been a pick in a 2v1 situation where he actually has a pretty decent position to split up the 2 Immortals players. It's not gonna work out in the end though, and you see a bit of a half bite. Kevlar coming in from tabseN, but CZs and P250s for the remainder of the team.
NRG reset again. Could be a 12-3 half for Immortals at this rate, and that would be quite something.
There we go.
I like the patient play from LEGIJA with the CZ. But I think there's a T in the middle area, indeed. LEGIJA will go.
It's felps, as always.
Did he spot the player on the other player, though? Oh, I think he was confused there because I think he saw tabseN go past him in the smoke.
Yeah, I think he spotted and heard way too many people for him to deal with.
How are there 2 players left for Immortals? The anti-ecos have been somewhat shaky.
They have. I mean, they don't really commit with the full team in terms of just using nades and utilities to a massive extent when taking over mid there. So that does leave them with opportunities. And they also put themselves in somewhat solitary positions, like felps did in that situation with no hope of a trade. So they do have the weapon advantage, and that's going to be pretty big for them in this situation. No armor either on any of the NRG members.
It's a very interesting position from boltz. Got to be around the vent area. Lucas just baiting.
FugLy has picked up an AK now, though. That does help. He's just going to have to be worried about the aim punch, though.
They need to get this bomb down before they run out of time to fake. Otherwise, they're going to be in even more trouble. So got to be going for that rotation, putting a smoke down in the vents. Trying to be as tricky as possible. Will Immortals be Pyro, though?
It seems like, well, boltz is in a pretty decent position, but FugLy actually finds the first frag, and, well, boltz definitely should have found the second frag on Gob, but NRG not, you know, too affected by that aim punch and still able to close out the 2v2.
That is a round that they shouldn't get. What's the money like, though? There's loads of money for Immortals.
Yeah, and it's last round of the first half anyway, so, you know, they're going to be buying up anyway, regardless of what their money situation is. And there you can see the timing on felps as he hears voices in his head telling him to turn around. Well, I mean, 10 to 5 is not the best CT half you could hope for, but it's definitely better than the alternative they were looking at. And they do get actually a pretty good buy-in here.
Oh dear, FugLy creeping through the smoke. Not going to work out for him. tabseN playing close as well. And he's going to go through it himself, it seems.
Oh, it's a poor position to find yourself in if you're tabseN. Completely flashed. Still opens the door, and, well, they do have all three towards that A bomb site, but I don't really have too much to work with. Not a lot of vision to be had.
Got B versus 3. Still shoulder peeking, and then one will finish off the proceedings. So 11-4, probably should have been 12-3, but yep. Such is life.
Such is life, absolutely. And I didn't get to see too much from NRG. That double op didn't really pan out like it did on Mirage.
Got B and tabseN with 7 kills between them.
Yeah, that's definitely not great, especially given the fact that tabseN, for instance, and you saw how much Immortals utilized that middle area, with tabseN being one of the main defenders at that spot. If he's not able to have an impact, that's obviously going to be like a pretty significant issue. It's going to make your CT sides a lot tougher. And this is not going to make your T sides any better. Henny starts off good. Ooh, oh my God. A second shot. Might as well get a third, right? Maybe felps is going to be a bit greedy.
I like how he didn't overextend, though. He kept his position so he could double peek with his teammate. Yeah. Which is really smart. More than can be said for that infamous round from Peter in the vents.
Yeah. So it's good to see some restraint coming in from Immortals. It's also all about sharing, right? And he's already gotten 2. Might as well give felps 1 kill.
And up you go.
Second shot right here.
Bing. Lovely. 12-4.
12-4, and well, pretty dire situation for NRG here. No money, and they're actually going to commit pretty heavily into this round. Peter not buying any Kevlar because he wants to get to that op eventually, but the rest of them pretty fully invested in this.
Immortals waiting for NRG to take the game to them. Not going to overextend. felps underneath the boost position around the corner. Other than that, distance and range being played. Still around the vent in B. He's got an MP9 though. MP9 is always good for a laugh. Has reasonable jumping accuracy as well.
felps being left all to his own devices here in mid.
Doesn't seem that bad. Easy.
Works out nicely.
Easy for felps, above his head and all sorts.
Wow.
20 kills for him now. Well, tabseN and Godby, time to step up. You, well, maybe not just yet, but in the next round. Man,
might as well start early.
Yeah.
I think they're going to need it at this point. Down 13-4. It's going to be a bit of a uphill climb here for them to get back into this. And I mean, we saw them climb back from it from a bad start on Mirage as well, but not this bad. And well, already gets off to a pretty poor start as well. felps doesn't want to give up. He's hungry for those eco frags. He's going to find 3 of them as well. Yeah, 23 frags for felps. We'll say, though, that quite a few of them, as much as I like him as a player, a lot of them are eco frags, because he went on a bit of a tear also on that T side by running at a mid.
Yeah.
But no, he's definitely had his impact, especially on those A splits that we've seen Immortals have. Always being able to find something, or either him or Lucas, actually, when they've gone as a bit of a duo. But now it's finally buy round for NRG, and this is a must-win round, obviously.
Ooh, this nade?
Ow.
Ooh, that's a nice nade.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, the nades, that's like one of the most inconsistent places for grenades.
Yeah, it's like if it flies 2 centimeters further than it does about 4 and 1, yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
CSGO grenades is like one of the biggest mysteries in the world.
Yeah, it does give your position away, but if you're a CT underneath the boost and you bounce it off the ridge, it normally collides with players and does like 60 damage. And it may hit between 1 and 3 people as well, which is quite colossal indeed. So, NRG, what do you have for us in this round? You've got next to no utility. You could put some smokes down to get closer to or towards the B-bomb site, for example, but you have 1 flashbang.
Yeah, and I think that's why they kind of have to go towards that B-bomb site, because if you want to take the A-bomb site, first off, you want to have Molotovs to clear out the corners, but you also want to have multiple flashes that you can, because it takes a while to actually get in on the bomb site. You don't have the time to do that within 1 flash. The B-bomb site allows you to get close enough, at least, to where you can have 1 pop flash and have everyone get into the main area of the B-bomb site.
Leg has been picked off. They're actually drawing players towards the A site. 3 CTs there. Lucas now alone on the B-bomb site with a UMP. How much can he do? There's 1 frag. Can't stay alive any longer, but maybe his job has been done. 3 versus 2. Peter's position will be unknown for the time being. Hen1 moving towards the vent. Always got to be careful of flankers, though.
Yeah.
Peter will slow him down and focus on other angles in the meantime, but...
I wonder if he heard the fact that he actually hit Henny with the Molotov before he backed off.
Pre-fire coming in from tabseN, not enough, though. Now Peter's out of position, fully wrecked. Match point Immortals. NRG get the plant, but they've got next to no money in the bank, so if they all buy AKs, they're going to have 3 players with no grenades whatsoever.
It's not going to be great, but a cool fake. You know, for the limited utility they had, if that would have been a full buy round where they actually have Molotov or more Molotovs and flashes, then it could definitely get scary, because you could see what kind of a reaction it caused with the Immortals there. So Gobs flashes, smokes over towards that A-bomb site from pretty much T-spawn. It is enough to actually create a rotation.
So they have limited utility as well. LEGIJA went for grenades instead of the Tech 9, but the problem is they haven't got grenades together necessarily for an execute. And you see them running through a smoke in main, just playing for trades at the moment. And that's not really going to go well for NRG, it seems. felps holding things down towards Forklift. 3 versus 2 now, both NRG players on the AKs. That bomb needs to get planted. Peter's at the back of the site, spots Lucas 1, and there's Hen1 with the trade with a mere USP. Now it's Peter alone, planting the bomb. Just a flashbang onto Steel, but Hen1, the AWP will be enough. 16-4 in favor of Immortals. Now in that round, again, 3 players basically had $3,700. 2 players bought AK and armor, which means no grenades. LEGIJA bought Tech 9 and grenades. And I think...
and they didn't use a single Molotov before 2 people had died, which is a bit of an issue as well.
I think it was tabseN who had another Molotov and...
Yeah, I think it's tabseN and LEGIJA.
The odd grenade, yeah, but... I mean, in the previous round, they were limited on grenades. They didn't really have an execute. There was that fake over towards A, which worked at the beginning, in fairness.
Yeah.
But, you know, they didn't buy enough... They didn't buy enough grenades to execute with.
Yeah, no, I think obviously they get into a really awkward situation because they had such a poor first half. So they end up, well, first they're try to get it back by actually buying into that second round after losing pistol on their T side, and that's obviously gonna again mess up your first buy round. And they're gonna have to commit to it anyway, because at that point Immortals are sitting on 14 rounds. And I think that was the big issue. If we had seen them playing the T side first, we probably would have seen, you know, these executes happen with full grenades, just full buys, and they probably would have been more effective. But with how poorly they played on the CT side, they weren't really given that chance by Immortals.
That's a very strong map from Immortals. 2 victories for them. After the break, we're going to have CLG versus Optic. First map is Dust 2. We'll see you at the top of the hour.
This time.